Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to talk to you guys about why leg training is the most important for your overall health and fitness. And I know there's going to be times when I sound occasionally like a broken record with this, but I think this is one of these points that is so critical and so important that we need to stress it repeatedly. And I think it becomes even more important when you see so many young men involved in the fitness world who don't seem to grasp this, and they will spend endless amounts of time doing cable curls and cable flies and all these little small exercises trying to work little individual muscles in their upper body without factoring in that really what most of us should be looking for is, can we train our lower body more? Can we spend endless amounts of time doing glute ham raises or sled drags or various forms of training for our lower body that don't bury us quite as much as a squat does, right? Because leg strength and leg development actually is way more important for your health markers, your athleticism, your longevity, everything else. It really is. And even for people who want to be more athletic or people who want to lose fat easier. And granted, I know I'm not always the best example of that, but I also eat an enormous amount of calories, and people need to remember that I did drop 40 pounds last year, and I'm actually still slowly getting leaner these days, even while eating amounts of food that most people would consider to be quite insane, like something in the range of 3,500 to 4,000 calories a day. That's actually what I eat. That's what I eat day in, day out. Now, granted, it's quality food, but you guys get the point. So the point we need to make with that, though, when it comes to your blood work and the things that we're looking at, your legs actually make a bigger difference. In other words, if you're going to add 5 pounds of muscle to your body and your goal is to just have a higher quality of life and feel better, adding it to your legs is going to go a lot further. It's going to give you better insulin sensitivity. It's going to give you better cholesterol, better lipid levels, better ability to just do functional things in life. And when you start digging even further into the research, it starts to be one of your bigger factors as far as reducing things like cancer, osteoporosis, even Alzheimer's, dementia. I mean, look at the longevity studies we have out there, that there is an enormous correlation past the age of 60 between leg strength and lower rates of dementia, higher rates of cognition, better memory, lower Alzheimer's. And I know a lot of younger guys, they get in the gym and they say, well, I don't care about these things. But look at some of your loved ones. I promise you, every single one of you, if you live long enough, someone that you love is going to die from cancer. Someone you love is going to die from cancer. It's happened to every single one of us. And it happened to me as a relatively young man once. Someone who I thought was one of the most wonderful human beings walking the earth. It made me actually step back and realize life wasn't fair. Because I might not be the best person, but I knew someone who was literally one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. A kind, generous, giving person who wasn't mean to anybody. Watched her die of brain cancer. So this is actually really a big deal. Or you start seeing, look at your grandpa, look at him walking around with a walker, versus look at some of the people out there who are athletic up into their 80s and 90s. Look at Alzheimer's. I lost my grandfather to Alzheimer's. A grandfather who I loved, who was a mentor to me. I loved him. Only person I loved more than that man was my mother. I watched him succumb to Alzheimer's. Right, that stuff's painful to watch, and that's what I would say to a lot of you out there. This is the stuff that you need to be thinking about with your training and everything in the long term. I mean, something like Alzheimer's and dementia, let's talk about that. I mean, being trapped in your own body, that's what that is, because your mind is degenerating. Well, we know that leg strength seems to be, as far as a lot of lifestyle factors go, one of the biggest factors there. Leg strength actually staves that stuff off, and the sooner you can start really developing your legs and your lower body, the better you're going to be. And I'm not talking about getting on a leg press or a leg extension all day long, because I mean, when I count lower body and legs, I'm talking about even your abs, your lower back, your glutes, hamstrings, not just quads, not just your quads and your calves, guys. This stuff matters. It matters a lot. And here's the thing, there's an expression that I've heard Mark Ripito say, and that's that hard people are harder to kill. And that really is true. And again, if you've known anyone who works in emergency rooms, and an ER doctor or nurse, they'll tell you stories every now and then of people who survive different things. And usually what you find is that people who are more physically strong and more physically robust, they survive everything from car crashes to gunshot wounds and everything else better. Your legs are a better overall indication of your strength. And if you build your lower body tremendously strong, with a combination of big exercises and even smaller ones, you are just stronger. You're more robust. You're better able to handle yourselves. You're better able to handle an impact, a concussion, a car wreck, being hit by a car, being hit by a truck, hell, falling out of a tree, falling downstairs. Right, you're less likely to break your back. You're less likely to break your legs just due to better overall bone density, having a stronger spine. All of these things, you're just less likely to get hurt. And I mean, when you really think about it, if we're going to be training, you're going to train anyways. You're going to train anyways. And a lot of times I will joke that some of these kids that you see in there, that I joke that they're just goofing off when you see them doing endless sets of drop sets on curls and stuff. And I laugh at it, and we all laugh at it. But realistically, those guys have some work ethic, because honestly, they wouldn't be subjecting themselves to that pain in that little bitty muscle if they were lazy. I mean, we can joke and say, oh, they're silly kids and they're being lazy and they're wasting their time. And there might be some truth to the waste of time, but I really and truly at the end of the day don't think those guys are lazy, because, I mean, honestly, that hurts. That hurts. They're putting forward effort. They're just not directing that energy into the stuff that really is going to matter, the stuff that's really going to improve their quality of life. And a lot of it comes down to, a lot of guys start training because they want to look better, to either boost their confidence, they want to get girls, they want to do those things. And you know what, that's fine. I joke about that. I joke about that a lot. But the truth is, at least that's getting them started. And at the end of the day, if getting these guys in the gym and getting them started takes whatever motivation it takes for them to do it, I would say that's a good thing, because it's at least putting them in a direction of hopefully a better lifestyle and self-improvement and a healthy lifestyle. But at a certain threshold, those guys need to realize that training isn't really about getting girls. It really isn't. It's not about trying to get your dick sucked, because quite frankly, it's a misallocation of resources if that's what you're doing. But those of you who are listening, you might be in that category, but you're already training. So here's what I'm going to say. Put your training in the stuff that's really going to make your life better, that's going to give you a better quality of life, that's going to make you healthier. Because if you really want to go the distance, a lot of you guys are out there, I'm trying to meet a fantastic girl, or you're trying to find wife material or whatever. Okay, so maybe you need to be thinking in terms of what's going to give you the best health and energy and sex drive and performance and all that stuff 20 years from now. Because what happens when you do get that heavenly blessed beauty? And then you're falling apart and you haven't trained your lower body, and you don't have strong hips and core and legs and all these things that are just going to keep you healthy and fit all the way through life, because you've done nothing but focus on your upper body. Maybe have a leg day. Where are you going to be with all of that? That is the direction all of us need to be thinking, because life is short. I'm standing here in my 40s training, talking to a lot of you guys, and let me tell you, it happens faster than you think. A lot of you are 25 right now, or 20, or 30, and you think 40 is a long way away. And let me tell you, it really isn't. It's going to come a lot quicker than you think it is, and you're going to blink your eye and you're going to be there. Like, that time is going to pass. You might want to be thinking about this stuff instead of saying, hey, how amazing can I try to make my bicep peaks with all these hundreds of hours I'm spending, and going, hey, what's going to give me the most longevity and quality? Like, what's going to keep me training and healthy and in the gym 20 years from now? What do I really need to be doing to do that? And I'm going to tell you, building your legs, and I don't just mean your quads and your calves, building your entire lower body, which I count abdominals and spinal erectors as part of your lower body. Building all of that stuff and building your work capacity and strength and fully developing it to the greatest extent possible, that's what's going to give you longevity. All right, that's what's going to give you longevity. That's what's going to give you the ability to survive a lot of really difficult things in life. That's what's going to give you the ability to just be harder to kill in general, whether it's a car crash or disease or cancer or diabetes, or just fighting for your life sometime if you're in a struggle. Right, that's what's really going to make the difference. That's what's really going to make the difference. That's what's going to give you longevity. That's what's going to give you quality of life. And that's what's going to make you feel good going forward. Right, that's what's going to keep you young up into your 40s and your 50s and beyond. Right, and I'm not saying don't do the curls. If you want to do some cable curls and some concentration curls, that's okay. That's okay if that's what you want to do and that's what keeps you motivated. But you need to be prioritizing these bigger movements, and you need to be prioritizing your lower body. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.